Let's try this again. I don't know if there's a glitch in the system.
I got a notification. It's on the HMA online page.
All right, we're back in action now. Okay, so I will have Master Cook take it away with Jean. Sorry, there was a little technical difficulty putting everything on my personal Facebook page where that is not where it goes. All right, so we've got see you Saturdays with Master Cook and Jean. I will be back later.
Thank you, ma'am. So your name is Jean, obviously.
Yes, ma'am.
And how long have you been training in Taekwondo?
So I started training when I was 10 years old, so about 7 years now, ma'am.
Okay. And what belt do you hold in Taekwondo?
So I am a first dan, and I'm hopefully testing in the fall for my second dan.
That's going to be a big class. We're working.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you also do judo, correct?
Yes, ma'am. I'm a purple belt in judo as well, ma'am.
Okay. Sounds like lots of fun. And which location can we normally find you at?
So I am most often at HMA East End. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All righty. And how did you learn about HMA?
So actually, my dad did Kung Fu, Aikido, and Iaido. So he kind of has a martial arts background, and he always encouraged my sister and I to do martial arts as well. So my sister also did judo and some arnis later, but my parents could never really get me into martial arts as a kid, no matter like how many classes we did. So I didn't start at Wong's Martial Arts, but I started, I think, at the Y first, but it didn't really work out. So I took an interest in swimming instead, and I did that until I was 12. But when I was 10, my parents finally got me into the summer camp at Wong's Martial Arts. And so I started actually at HMA 4 at HMA St. Matthews. And I never really had a formal trial lesson, but I remember my first class ever was nunchuck training with Camden Sabanim. So
Fun.
It's funny because I remember not liking it at all. I remember like coming home every day crying and literally asking my parents to take me out because we had to do push-ups. But after 2 weeks, I actually really started to love it, and I started making a bunch of new friends, and that's how I got to where I am today, ma'am.
So you started off in the summer, you kind of had no other choice but to do it. So that's
yes, ma'am. That was kind of a long explanation, but
that works. Are your parents on the mat also, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. So I started first, but after maybe a year, they started with me, and we got our black belts together, and it's just been a really nice journey with them. And I love that they're able to be on the mats with me and see my progress and me being able to see theirs as well.
Cool. And then you said you also have an older sister, correct?
Oh, yes. My sister, her name's Catherine. She's 26 years old, and her husband Jordan, he actually did some HMA classes as well a while ago. So yeah.
So your whole family is involved. Nice.
Yes.
Nice. Okay. Are you from Louisville?
Yes, ma'am. I'm from Louisville. Half of my family is living in Kentucky and some in Florida, and then the other half, my mom's half, is living in her hometown in the Philippines. So.
And where do you go to school?
I go to school at Highlands Latin School. It's kind of a smaller private school. A lot of people haven't heard of it before, but yeah. I am going into my senior year.
Okay, perfect. And hopefully you get to go back next year.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Nothing against the homeschooling teachers, but I'm sure you'd rather be back in class with your friends.
Right. That's true, ma'am.
Okay. What do you want to pursue as a career? Do you have any ideas?
So I'm actually interested in physical therapy. Um, I think a lot of that came from like sports injuries before, like my knee one time, and going to physical therapy for that. I really got to see what they do there, and I think it'd be great.
You mentioned you were into swimming before HMA. Was there, are you on a competitive team or?
I was on it was kind of like a summer fun league. Basically, it was each country club had a team. And so I was on that each summer until I was 12. It got to the point where if you wanted to keep pursuing it, you would basically have to drop all other activities and, basically just pursue that. So I would much rather do HMA, and I'm so glad that I chose it. So.
Yeah. Cool. Cool. What's your favorite? What was your favorite part of the? What are you, a backstroke or your breaststroke? What were you best at? And what were you best at? And what is your favorite?
I think my favorite was probably backstroke, but I think I was best at freestyle probably.
Any other hobbies you have besides HMA?
So I do sing a little bit. I'm not in any choirs outside of school, but I have been singing the Korean national anthem for a little bit. But other than that, I do go target shooting with my parents sometimes, and I think it's really fun as well.
Okay. Who's the best shot, you, mom, or dad?
Probably dad, but it depends on the day.
Okay, good answer. Good answer. Good answer. Any other hidden talents that you have?
I don't think so, ma'am. Probably none that nobody else knows of.
Okay. How has HMA impacted your non-HMA life?
That is a really good question. I know I was watching everyone else's lives, their interviews, and I'd probably have to agree with them and say in literally every way possible. I really think that it's taught me just like so many valuable life lessons. Like, I think I'm much more independent than I would have been because of it. And I'm not sure if I can even picture myself without the influence that HMA has had in my life. I really feel so blessed to have had and still have so many like amazing mentors and role models that encourage me every day. And honestly, sometimes it feels like Grandmaster is literally like a second dad to me in the way that he constantly encouraging me, and he opens up so many experiences to all of us. So yeah. And another thing is as I think a lot of people have noticed, HMA teenagers, a lot of us have much more unique and different responsibilities than other teenagers outside of HMA would. So I think that's really helped us to grow a lot and make us more mature. So yeah.
You used to be very shy, and that's not a bad thing, and some of it was age.
That's very true.
Yes, but now you can be loud in front of a group, which is not the old Gina. So,
yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
I agree.
Awesome. But some of that is forced upon you too, also. Tell me some of your favorite HMA memories.
I really love traveling with HMA. Like, been to China and Korea. That was an amazing trip. I know it wasn't just teenagers, it was also kids, adults, and it was just amazing. Peru, also that with the three other SWAT captains, that was amazing as well. It was more like a cultural tour, which was very good. Trying to think of where else. Alaska, which was really nice because I think when we all go to tournaments together, it's really nice to see just like everyone's hard work paying off and us supporting each other, as well as meeting new people and meeting new people from other schools, other countries, and yeah, it's just really good.
You mentioned SWAT. What is your role in the SWAT team?
Yes, ma'am. So I have been the co-captain of SWAT for the past 2 years, and I'm now transitioning to take Jackson Sobenham's role of captain, ma'am.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah.
And what does the SWAT team do? What does SWAT stand for, and
Yes,
what is
ma'am.
your all's responsibilities?
So SWAT actually stands for Special Winning Attitude Team, which I think is probably the best way to describe it, because even if you're not super talented, even if your kicks aren't super good, that can always be learned. Like that can always be, you can always teach that and you can always learn that. But you can't really teach someone how to have a positive attitude, or you can't force someone to have a positive attitude. It has to be themselves. So I think that's one of the most important things about SWAT, and I would have to agree.
Right. What do you want students to learn from you?
I would want students to learn to work hard with an open mind, and most importantly, a positive attitude, because of everything I just said. And like being in a group like SWAT, where you're constantly supporting each other and keeping each other in check, is probably my favorite thing about it. So, yeah. And I just think not even in HMA, but in other aspects of life as well, those are some of the most important things.
What style of teaching do you have?
I would say I'm less of a disciplinarian. I tend to bring in more positive reinforcements, but that's just because that's how I enjoy learning and how I like to be taught. But I think everyone's different styles of teachings have are good for different people and bring different benefits to each. So, yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Some people respond well to more discipline. Sometimes they
Right.
need the discipline.
Yes,
Sometimes
ma'am.
they need that little extra boost. So, okay. So let's see. We've kind of already talked about what other involvement with HMA. You're on demo team? Do you book summer camp?
Yes, ma'am. So I have volunteered at summer camp for about 3 years and worked there for the past year. It's amazing. I think it's super fun for the kids, and honestly, it's very fun for the working and volunteers as well. I'm also in demo team. I've been in demo team since I was, I think, 11. When I was a purple belt, that's when I started to. That's when actually Brun Sabanim pulled me into demo team, and it's been great ever since, ma'am. Oh, also captain of Dream Team, ma'am, for about 2 years, ma'am.
What's the Dream Team?
HMA 2. HMA.
HMA East and Dream Team. What does the Dream Team do? What would you do as captain of that team?
Yes. So Dream Team is it's for children from the ages of 8 to 12, and these are for kids for future leadership. They're going to be like our future leadership, our future teachers. So basically what they do, we give them kind of a little bit more advanced things that we would do than we would do in regular classes. And they learn how to teach. They are supposed to know all their forms. And just we teach etiquette and things like that, ma'am. So I think it's very good, especially for children who want to go into future leadership roles at HMA and SWAT as well.
They're a great help at belt test.
Yes, ma'am.
the
That's also true.
yes, students motivated, and they bring out the certificates and the boards, so that they're a big help to those of us on the leadership team.
Yes, ma'am.
I was crying when you were talking about the, I think it was like the teenage question that made me cry.
Mhm.
So I've got, and some people you can teach getting their kicks better. Some people you can't. I'm not going to name any names, but Dr. Jenkins
And
has a question.
Yes, ma'am.
He says, which do you like better, Korean food or Filipino food?
Oh man.
do we offend mom or do we offend grandmaster?
Second dad.
That's a very hard choice. I'm probably I'm gonna have to say Filipino.
All you.
Yeah.
I'm
Pizza's
gonna have
always
to
a good
say,
answer. Pizza.
I'm gonna have to say Filipino food, not just because I've grown up with it, but also because mom still feeds me, so I can't say Korean food. But also, she does make Korean food, so. But
Oh, that's right. You guys have been doing the Zoom.
Thing.
That's right.
yeah, and she makes good bulgogi too. But
Good. Dr. Jenkins says you can learn to kick better. Okay, we'll see. We'll see. Miss Farah also asks, and I don't know if this was already asked because I know this is one of the questions that Master Cook typically asks, but Miss Farah is asking hobbies outside of martial arts.
yes, ma'am. So other than martial arts, I enjoy singing a lot. I'm not in a choir outside of school, but that's something I really like to do. And also, I enjoy target shooting with my parents on weekends. It's fun and it's competitive between us, and so it's good. And that's pretty much it, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Well, everybody start asking some questions, even if it does mean that you're asking questions about your own daughter, Miss Gray. It's totally fine. Maybe something that we didn't know about her that you can make her reveal.
Oh.
That would make it exciting.
Uh-oh.
All right. Okay. All right.
Thank you, ma'am. What advice would you have for children?
For children, honestly, just stick with it. Just as I said before, work hard, keep a positive attitude. Always remember to smile even when you're even when you're not doing the best. I think if you do those things, those stand out probably more than anything else. So
How about teenagers?
teenagers, even though teaching in HMA can be sometimes a lot, as like it can be every day, but I would say just keep with it because this part of our lives won't last forever because soon we're going to college, and then after that, who knows when we'll be able to come back. So I would say just stick with it and enjoy it while it lasts, because one day when we're in college or adults, we'll be looking back at all the memories we've had here, and all the people we've met and all the friends we've had. So I think that's something to remember.
Any advice for adults on the mat?
Adults, I would say, well, I'm not an adult yet, but I would say probably, I think all of these apply to all ages, but don't be scared to look silly or whatever. I think that's something a lot of adults maybe struggle with, like being scared that they're gonna look silly in front of everyone doing a martial art or whatever, or thinking like this is just for kids. But it truly is special, and it helps your kids more than you'll ever think. Like, I'm so grateful my parents have taken up HMA with a positive attitude and just constantly supporting me along the way. Because I know that adults here, um, like, it's just kind of a big group of friends. Because, yeah, and that's
Okay.
been a value.
And then what about parents on the sidelines?
Parents on the sidelines, I would say join. You won't regret it. There's so many adults and so many people that have that same experience of trying to get on the mats, but
All right. What is your favorite color belt form?
my favorite color belt form is Taeguk Yeokjong, probably.
Is there a reason why that one sticks out?
When I was still a color belt, I really loved all the kicks because that's probably the only thing I was good at back then. But yeah, that's why I like it.
Okay. And what is your favorite food to eat? If you get to pick what you're having for dinner, your choice is.
Oh man.
Uh-oh.
There's so many foods I like. Can I pick like 4?
Okay, you can pick 4.
Okay.
First course, second course.
Probably lumpia, which is the Filipino egg rolls that my mom makes for all the tournaments. I remember one time she made like 500 and they were gone by the end of the night. So those are very good. I really like mashed potatoes and gravy. I don't know why, but it's good. Also, if anyone has been to Lee's Korean restaurant, I know we've had like meetings there, but the gangpungi, next time you go there, it's so good. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, Master Mimi. I'm sorry, but it's like, I think it's fried chicken and it has like a kind of sweet sauce on it and it's super good. So next time you go to Lee's Korean, order gangpungi. Trying to think, last one, probably mac and cheese. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have a favorite color?
I don't know whether it's pink or red, but one of those I really like. Yes, ma'am.
One of those two. Okay. What type of music do you listen to?
When Jackson Salvador was talking about the teenagers that listen to K-pop and that he's kind of forced to listen to it, that's me. I like K-pop. I also listen to Spanish music as well and pop. I think all of those.
Anything that has a fast beat, it sounds like. Is what you
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have a favorite motto or a favorite saying?
Unfortunately, I can't think of one right now, ma'am, but probably Grandmaster's saying where he says, where whenever we mess up or he sees us being lazy, he says, laziness is my enemy. And I think I've repeated that a billion times to the windows at HMA too, so.
It stuck with you. Do you have a favorite sport? You participate in or watch?
This is technically a part of Taekwondo, but I actually really enjoy sparring. I don't really do it that often, especially since my knee injury, but I would love to start getting back into it once the whole Corona situation is over. And also, in terms of judo, I really enjoy groundwork. And yes, ma'am.
All right. Do you have a team that you follow?
No, ma'am, I do not. But I know sometimes me and my parents will just sit at home watching Cookie One demonstrations or Yongin demonstrations, ma'am.
Mhm. Follow you on yeah. And a black belt philosophy that's a favorite.
A black belt philosophy. Probably one of the most useful. Patience is a virtue, because I know not even with other people, but patience with yourself and learning something, because eventually if you'll just get it eventually. So I think that's probably one of the most useful and my favorite.
What's your favorite subject in school?
Oh, my favorite subject in school. I really enjoyed chemistry, but I think my favorite is probably literature class. Yes, ma'am.
Back.
Hello, ma'am.
Okay. So Mr. Gray asks, what is the fastest way to be able to do the splits?
Oh, the fastest. Okay. So the stretches we do a lot in SWAT class. I think I've done those stretches with in regular classes before, but I'm trying to find a way to explain it. Do I like demonstrate? Probably not. But
Hey,
I was
I said,
get exciting.
okay, like really?
if you want to, ma'am, sure.
Okay. Hold on, let me get my camera. Okay. There's my floor. Okay, so basically I would say these stretches, this one in front, leaning into it, and then I would just practice that a lot, and then eventually just try to go lower. And but I think that's the number one thing that helped me, because I couldn't do it for the longest time. So that, and just doing it continually, and yeah, just perseverance and just doing it all the time whenever you have the chance.
Okay.
Practice.
All right. Dr. Jenkins is back. I guess Mr. Gardner has been replaced.
Oh.
What are your plans with HMA after high school?
My plans with HMA after high school. So I'm not sure where I'm going to college. If I go somewhere in Kentucky like WKU or UK, then I would definitely plan on coming for belt tests if I could, or just coming to events hopefully, and maybe some classes. But we're also looking into going to the Philippines for school. So if that happens, I'll just try to support it as much as I can while I'm there. And
Maybe we could see you via Zoom. That was
yes, ma'am.
he was asking, are you planning to go away for college or to stay local? So maybe
Yeah, that's still something I'm trying to figure out, but one of the two.
All right. And Mr. Alt is asking, what is your favorite GMH memory?
Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. My favorite Grandmaster memory. I'm gonna have to think about this one for a second. There's so many. Probably, okay, when he draws. I don't know. when he's explaining something and he just he gets out his he gets out his scrap paper and he starts like diagramming it out. I don't know why, that's just like so entertaining, and like I just love it. I don't know why, but that's not really a distinct memory, but I just love when he does that.
Okay, great. And Miss Farah is asking, do you have a pet peeve?
Oh, a pet peeve. Okay. My pet peeve is probably oh gosh, like of other people or like
Is there
um
people like do that annoy you, like
okay.
the toilet paper roll upside down and not putting it on the right way?
Okay. So I think um I think this is something that I've done, so probably my own pet peeve, and I'm sure other people can relate, but I hate when I find myself like being lazy. I just
Yeah.
or finding myself like um wanting to do something without putting the actual work in and expecting results. I think that's one of my worst things. So,
Okay.
and whining.
Looks like those are all the, Mr. Alt is asking, how much of your positive attitude do you attribute to being an HMA student?
Mm, A lot. Most of it, sir. Yeah, I think um, even in classroom settings, like actual classroom settings, that's not something that I'd noticed about myself before HMA, but I know that we always emphasize Choshim, beginner's mind, and just keeping that in mind all the time. So,
All right, I'll be back.
Thank you,
Yeah.
ma'am. Do you have any pets at home?
I do not have any pets, but my friend's going away to college in a few months, and I'm getting her hedgehog. His name is Pig, so I'm excited.
So you could be a foster mom. So,
Yes, ma'am.
okay. All right. What is your favorite weapon?
My favorite weapon. Oh my gosh. Probably, actually, fans. First, I really all the routines that Miss Ula has put together, I really enjoy those. And I know we've done some in SWAT, and those are really fun. But second, I'd probably say bow staff, and I'm just literally awful at nunchucks, so I can't put that on my list, sadly.
When it comes to competitions, are you a forms person, sparring, breaking? Which do you like and which are you best at? Because sometimes if we like it, even though we're not the best at it.
That's true, ma'am. So in my first years, I really loved breaking and sparring. Those were probably my favorites. I think after my knee injury, I had to stop breaking a little bit because I had to limit jumping and twisting. But as I said before, I would really like to get back into sparring, and I think that would be something I would really enjoy doing in tournaments. But for now, I'm pretty much trying to get my forms better. So I would say I'm more of a forms gal in competitions.
Sounds good. Do you like driving? I know you're a recent new driver, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Um, I like it. It's nice to be able to, go go places and without having to, ask or not ask, but ask your parents to drive you and fitting your schedule. But um, yeah, I would say I'm probably a very careful driver more than anything. I've been called slow very many times.
It's a good
I
thing.
remember one time we were driving for a meeting or something, and Grandmaster Wong had Jackson Sabanim and Francis Sabanim and Master Ian. So he wanted me to be like chauffeured by them basically because I was driving. I don't know how to explain this, but Jackson was in his own car, Francis Sabanim was in his own car, Master Ian was in his own car, and they were supposed to stay with me the whole time, but they all pretty much ending up ended up passing me in the end because I was so slow, but it was good.
Yeah, you have to be careful when you're on the road. You have
Yes,
to be
ma'am.
careful. Okay.
I think
Um, mhm.
I think a lot of the reason why I'm also slow is because this is kind of bad, but my first week of driving without a passenger, I was at the McDonald's drive-through, and I'm sure you all have seen like the left side of my, some of you have seen the left side of my car, but I accidentally pressed the gas instead of the brakes. So I ended up like kind of scraping the brick of McDonald's, but it didn't do any damage to the building at all. And it was just the side of my car. So I still have a Band-Aid that Brent Sabanim put on it. So
But it has made you a more careful driver,
that is true.
more aware of your space. So
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, you're always learning. That's a good
That's
thing.
true.
That's a good thing. What age group do you prefer to work with? The little bitty guys, 5, 6?
Probably from the ages 3 to 6. Those are some of my favorite ages. I think it's just because I know a lot of them are just so cute, and usually they're always like willing to learn, and they're just have so much energy. And I think they're very fun to work with, as well as probably preteens. Those are my second favorite as well.
Any tips for us? I think my speaker's just down.
Oh.
Any tips for those of us working with the little bitty guys?
Oh, yes, ma'am. So I know I still struggle sometimes a lot with one thing is keeping them focused as well. You have to kind of balance like focus and discipline with fun and playfulness, because the fun and playfulness is very important when you're dealing with that age group and working with them. But once you find the perfect mix, I think it's going to be successful, and you're both going to have fun, and you're both going to learn from it. So
And that's a great talent to have, because some of those little guys trying to get them motivated is difficult. So,
yes, ma'am.
yes,
Ma'am.
that's
Yes, ma'am.
a fun talent. So you do well with little ones. So that's lots of fun.
That's something I'm just trying to improve on every day. So
What else do we need to know about Jean?
about Jean. I can't think of anything right now, but I think I've covered a lot. But I'm just, one more thing, I'm just super grateful to, I know I've had so many role models and helpers at HMA, like Brun Salvanim. He's been a huge influence in my life. He's been helping me since I was 10. Master Ian, and honestly everyone, Master Cook, Master Mimi, and I just know that everyone in some way has helped me to grow. And I think you all have watched me grow more than I've watched you all grow. But I also enjoy, I think watching your friends and students grow is maybe even like better than watching your own personal growth. So yes, ma'am, that's just something I wanted to say.
Awesome. All right. Well, was that it, Master Cook?
Yes, ma'am. That's all my questions.
We will end with, looks like we've got 2 more questions from Miss Alt. What do your friends find most intimidating about you, your black belt or your dad?
It's funny because you would think he's a big man, he's scary, but he's probably one of the most like happiest, nicest, like warm people ever. So, and so probably the black belt, ma'am.
Good. All right. And Dr. Jenkins is asking, how does it feel to be a woman in a mostly male-dominated environment?
That's a good question. I was actually thinking about that. I'm super.
Encourage him.
I think Master Mimi is a great role model for that type of situation. I mean, she's grown up in this environment her whole life. I'm sure she's.
Girl, it's not about me. He's asking you. Asking you.
I'm sorry, but I'm sure you faced like a lot of hardships through that. So I think, but I haven't faced too much issues with that. I think everyone is super supportive, and I know Grandmaster, he he's always giving me opportunities, even if it's something that a male could potentially do better in. But
We do it better anyway.
oh,
You got
but yeah, I think. But
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, fantastic. If there's anybody out there watching, we'll kind of save maybe one more second for any last minute questions that you have. If not, Master Cook, who is our special guest for next time?
next time. Well, we don't have anything. We need a special person to be the interviewer next time, ma'am. So yes, I've been nominated to answer the questions. I need somebody who to volunteer to ask me the questions, ma'am. So
I would nominate Mr. Gardner. I think your recommendation, or even somebody that's like not
Dr.
really.
Jenkins always has lots of questions.
I bet he would probably, although I don't know if I would want to do that to you, because I wonder if some of those questions would just be so out there. And
We'll answer anything, ma'am.
okay, yes, ma'am. So we'll do so in 2 weeks, where does that land us? That lands at okay, right before July 4th. So that's perfect. Dr. Jenkins says, I volunteer as tribute. We'll see. Maybe he and Mr. Gardner can like do a virtual sparring session, and the winner can.
That works, ma'am. That works.
Okay, perfect, Jean. Thank you for a great interview. Master Cook, as always. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
To ask these great questions and get to know all of our black belts and our staff that we have here. We're excited that we are opening all 3 schools on Monday. So again, make sure you check out the schedule. Don't forget, you have to copy the link, but then you can't put it in your phone, in your app. You have to open it in a browser. And until June 27th, everybody be safe, and thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.